Welcome to the Oregon Fly Fishing Blog. I'm Jay Nicholas. We're going to do another in our series of saltwater fly tying and fly fishing videos. Hey, we're about to do another saltwater fly in our extensive series. This is going to be a deceiver tied for coho salmon. And the first thing I'm going to do here is tie in some, this is Silver Doctor Blue saddle hackles, strong saddle hackles. So, you know, this deceiver style of fly always uses some sort of a feather tail. And again, there are different opinions and different styles for tying these in, faced together so that they're smooth, splayed out so they're like this. What's important is that you find a way that you have confidence in. And the other thing is, you know, shooting these videos, I never exactly know how these things are going to come out. It's a mystery to me. The real materials that we work with, you buy a bunch of strong saddles and you don't know exactly what you're going to get. And you have to pick through with the best suppliers, there is for a vast amount of variety in the properties of those feathers. So just relax, lash them on. That looks good. That came out better than the rockfish deceiver I just tied a few minutes ago. Point is, they're going to fish. You get these feathers wet. Get them. You cast this fly. You start stripping it, moving it through the water. It's going to be fine. So don't angst over it. I used to angst a lot. I want my feathers to be just perfect. And then I fished flies where the feathers weren't perfect, and they performed just well. So I just want you to have confidence. Lash those feathers in. Get out there and get fishing. That's the most important thing. This is holographic, no, it's not holographic, it's pearl diamond flat braid. You don't have to use a body at all. You don't see much of it. Now a typical lefty's deceiver would use bucktail for a belly. I'm going to use an EP brush, a sparkle brush. This is holographic silver. This is really fun stuff to work with. You wind it on. You try to brush those fibers back so you don't have to untangle them all at the end. And the fly fishes very well with one turn, but it will be fuller. It will, I think, look nicer to us as tyers if we give it 3 or 4 turns. And for a fly that you're going to use for coho salmon, it gives you a little bit of extra sparkle. I'm using a clear mono thread. Just a few turns is fine. Now I don't trim those ends of the stainless steel brush exactly tight. So then you kind of fold it forward. So I'm going to put on, as if that weren't enough flash, I'm going to add a few strands of lateral flash. And that isn't a few strands, that is like a dozen. So now I've got more like 5 or 6. So I measure to the back of the fly on this side, lash it on, bring it, hold. So I'm going to tack this down. A little bit of hydro cure goo right there, little second in with the light. That's going to hold the flash on that side. So now I'm going to roll my lateral flash over the other side, make sure I have it all, a little, just a drop of the hydro, second with the lamp, trim it just past the end of the feathers. Now those are now locked on both sides. So for a wing on this fly, I'm going to go back to a very traditional material, which is bucktail. And I'm going to use a little bit of hot pink. Remember, Coho, do they like pink? You bet they like pink. So I don't need that to be very long. I'll trim that. Now you could use Steve Farrar blend. You could use an EP fiber. Just for some things, I'm a traditionalist. And it's tough to beat the colors that you get in bucktails with fluorescent pink and fluorescent blue. Nice and bright. I trim those in advance. Just about done with this phase, and we're about to add the eyes. Okay. I just wound one of my pieces of lateral flash underneath there, like I wasn't supposed to. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to diverge from my plan here. I was going to put on holographic eyes, but I'm going to throw on a fish skull fish mask. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a gob of cure goo inside there. Put a pretty good sized gob. And then I'm going to slide on my fish mask. And hit it with the light. And I know that the light works right through that mask and that will cure that goo. Now there isn't a lot of goo in there, so I'm actually going to add some to it in a moment. And I'm going to add it inside there, which is great technique. And I've lost my thread, so I'll grab a white thread. The reason I need a thread here is I want to build up a little bit of a dam in front. Now ideally I'd still be using my fine mono thread. A 2/0 hook. Got a little thread barrier there. And white is acceptable. And I am going to reach for super pearl eyes. I want to make sure they're going to fit. Yep, they fit very nicely. So I put in some, I turn it parallel because I have my rotating vise there. Put the cure goo hydro in there, and then slide that eye in the socket, hit it with the light. Turn it over, do the same thing. This fly works, catches fish, have fun with it.